Hey, it's Dan, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Now, have you ever wanted a magicka sorcerer build that has great damage, sustain, but is somehow ridiculously tanky? Or that it works in Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil and Duels without having to change much or rely on pets? Well, rest assured, as we're going to answer all of those questions and many more as I share with you the Archmage. The Archmage is a PvP magicka sorcerer that is designed from the ground up for the current patch. It has crazy damage mitigation, nearly 80%. It's got 48k magicka, buffing both our damage and our shields, and sitting behind all of that is 1700 regen before potions and continuous attack. It is hands down the strongest non-pet magicka sorcerer build that I've played to date. That's in 4 years. It works in Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil and Duels. I've even won a dueling competition with it, taking home a tidy prize. But before we jump into the build itself, if you are new here or you haven't realised it yet, this channel is all about helping you get better with next level builds, guides and gameplay. So why not start improving today by subscribing and turn on the bell so you don't miss anything. And before I forget, why not visit our website after the video for written guides, tips and more at www.unified-gaming.org. And with introductions out of the way, let's get started. Now looking at that build, we have all of our points into max magicka, buffing both our damage and our shields, making us tankier in the process. As for the race, you want to be a high elf, which gives us the best stam management. A Breton works really well. A Nord is actually really good this patch, so that's definitely worth a try, and so is a dark elf. As for the Munderstone, you want to use the mage, giving us more max magicka, making our shield larger, making us do more damage. It's a really good middle ground Munderstone. You could go with the Atronach for recovery for things like Battlegrounds if you find it a bit iffy. You could use the Apprentice for more spell damage, or the Lover to really push that offensive sort of ability there. As for being a vampire or being a mortal, you could be a vampire if you choose. I go with it personally, but it's personal preference. The passives are nice, but they're not essential. For the food or drink, we actually use spring-loaded infusion on this build. As for the skills guys, on the front bar we are using Crystal Fragment. It's a really good skill. It basically has a proc chance allowing us to just do a stupid amount of damage really cheap. Great skill. We then use Haunting Curse as a delayed burst ability, Rune Cage as a stun. I then use Crush and Shock. It's a really good skill, underrated, interrupts people resurrecting, interrupts people doing kind of channeled abilities, really good. You could use False Pulse for a bit more damage though. And then we use Endless Fury. This gives us basically magicka when we kill people. It's an execute, it's really good. And I use Overload on top. Overload is really underrated. It's basically like having Meteor, kind of that 70% strength, but you can cast it like multiple times, so really good. If you want though, you don't like the kind of Rune Cage playstyle, which I like personally, you could go with Inner Light. Inner Light will give you more max magicka, more crits, so you just hit harder, which is great. It's like a passive damage buff, you don't actually have to cast it. Alternatively, you could use Camouflage Hunter for minor berserk if you hit people from the flank. I do also like using Elemental Drain as well for more penetration and sustain, but if you want to, you could just move a shield to the front bar from the back bar. That works absolutely fine. As for the back bar, we use Dark Conversion. This basically lets us convert stamina into magicka. It's like instant sustain. It's just really good. We then have Rapid Regen. This is kind of like a mini sort of heal over time, but it's really strong, and it works with allies, so really good there. We then use 2 magic shields. We use Dampen Magic and Hardened Ward. Dampen Magic from the light armor skill line, and Hardened Ward obviously from the sorcerer skill line. Dampen Magic is better than Harness Magicka because it's a bigger shield, and that's kind of what we want here. We then have Streak on the back bar for more mobility. It's also a stun, does a bit of damage. It's a really good kind of get out of jail button if you're being pressured. And then I use Crit Surge on top. As for the ultimate, I use Temporal Guard. That's just a passive kind of 8% damage mitigation. Really good, so definitely have that there. If you do move a shield to the front bar, then you gain a free slot, which is awesome. It lets you use Combat Prayer, which is for minor berserk for you and anybody you cast it on. It's a mini heal, it's really good. Or you could use something like Daedric Mines that kind of lets you kind of stand your ground, hold that kind of, this is I cast from this spot, you come to me, or I kill you, and it's just really nasty there. Alternatively, you could use Race Against Time for a minor force, which just buffs our critical damage by 10%. It's kind of up to you, but in all honesty, I'd keep the bars as I've kind of used them, but it's personal preference. Now for the gear. So on the monster set, we're using Mighty Tudor this time. We have a heavy piece and a medium piece. That gives us our Undaunted passes 511. If you're somebody who doesn't have Undaunted yet, just go 2 heavy, it's absolutely fine. You could switch to Bloodspawn if you want. You do get slightly more armor, in all honesty, than Mighty Tudor, but you have to obviously have the Bloodspawn up or you're a bit squishier. so I would recommend using Boundless Storm if you do that. I actually use Bloodspawn and Mighty Shield and I kind of switch between them, so if you want to do that kind of playstyle, Boundless Storm, Bloodspawn, just drop one of the shields, you're absolutely fine. As for the second set, we use Bright Throat's Boast. We use this on the body, so that's 5 light armor on the body, so that's obviously your chest, your legs, your hands, your feet and your waist. They're all impenetrable as is the monster set. And then for the glyphs, you want to have Tri-Stat on the head, the chest and the legs, that's max magicka, health and stamina on those pieces, and everything else should just be max magicka. Now what makes this really special though is it actually uses Ancient Grace. So you want to have 3 Ancient Grace jewellery. You want them arcane, so more max magicka, and you can go with 2 recovery and 1 spell damage, but adjust it as you see fit. For some people, you want a bit more sustain, just change one of the glyphs. If you want more damage, just change one of the glyphs. It's really simple. Then for the front bar, we use Willpower. So you can use a Willpower Inferno Staff. This buffs all our single target abilities, which is pretty much everything we do, so definitely use an Inferno Staff. This also gives us max magicka, again making us do more damage. It's really good, works well with Inner Light. You could use Torok's Pat though for just more spell damage, but whatever staff you use on the front bar, Willpower or Torok's Pat, make sure it's Nirnhoned. Like honestly, it's a massive damage difference, and for the love of God, please gold it out. If you gold your weapon out, you gain like 300 spell damage, it's a big difference. You don't want to have a shock glyph just for minor vulnerability and more burst as well. On the back bar we then have Blessing of Potentes. This is a restoration staff. We want defending to make us a bit more bulkier. We get 5% from there, we get 8% from Temporal Guard. It means it's just tankier on the back bar, really good with our shields are. I then use a Berserk glyph on this bit, which basically increases our spell damage, so we get up to almost 3000 spell damage on this build, which is absolutely crazy. 48k magicka, 3k spell damage, 80% damage mitigation. You can see this is pretty strong. Now before we continue though, I want to remind people that if you are wanting to get better with next level builds, guides or gameplay, then remember to subscribe and check out the website at www.unified-gaming.org, where the written guides are posted for my builds, they're maintained and are updated for future patches, and if they're not viable, they're just removed. But anyway, back to the video. So you're probably asking yourself, Dan, why this gear combination? What's special about this? Well actually there's loads of things that makes this really special. The max magicka route gives us more damage. If you go with max magicka, you get very similar damage as to if you just went with high spell damage, but it also aids our shields, making us tankier. It gives us more resources to work with, which helps us sustain. Ancient Grace and Willpower is also a really good combination. Honestly, try it on most magicka builds, it's really good. By using Ancient Grace and Willpower, you end up with a similar max magicka kind of buff as you would if you used the Crafty Elfique. But the benefit of this is that you can actually front bar it, so you basically go to the front bar, get all the damage when you need it, and on the back bar you can run a defensive set like Blessing of Potentes, which is honestly a really good way of doing this. You don't need extra magicka on the back bar, you've got more than enough for your shield. You just need more damage on the front bar, you don't need the damage on the back bar, so you want the defense where you need it. Get the defense on the back bar, gives you time to recover, it makes a big difference. So that's why this is really special. Now I also get asked this an awful lot of the time, where do I get this stuff from? Well, Mighty Student is located in Runes of Massatoon. Bright Throat is found in Murkmire and it's tradable. The gloves though can be a bit difficult to get, so just do bear that in mind, okay? And then Ancient Grace is bought in Cyrodiil from Broomer, I believe it is. You can also trade it, same with Blessing of Potentes, so they're really easy to get those sets there. You can literally go out and buy most of it. If you don't have access to Runes of Massatoon, just use Bloodspawn. That's found in Spindle Clutch 2, and it's traded with Mage at the Undaunted Place. You could go with something like Pirate Skeleton if you really need to. 1 Pirate Skeleton, 1 Lord Warden, again you'll find there. As for that CP guys, it's all min-maxed for the current patch, it's always been refined. I will update this as well on the website for future patches too, but it's honestly hands down the best CP setup that I found for this build thus far. Combo wise, they're really simple. If you have seen the Apprentice build, then you know the combo already. But if you haven't, do check it out. I break it down a lot clearer, I'll go through it in videos, so you can just watch it, it's slowed down, it's really helpful. But basically that combo there one-shots most people. It does about 16 to 28k burst damage instantly, it literally one-shots most of the people in BGs in Cyrodiil, it's absolutely crazy. So definitely do that combo, okay? But to do it, you basically want to buff up when you see the target, so Crit Surge, you then do Haunting Curse, you go to Mage's Wrath and you cast Rune Cage. Frag usually procs by this point, you go Frag, you do Light Attack, Overload, and you do Crushing Shock, Block, Cancel. All of this happens, obviously over about 3 or 4 seconds, but the damage, because it's all delayed, lands within about 1 second, maybe 2 seconds at the most, and it does about 80% of somebody's health bar, if not all of it instantly. It's absolutely disgusting. Honestly, it's such a really powerful combo. If you find it hard to line up all that stuff at once, so you could just go with Haunting Curse, Mage's Wrath and do a heavy attack into a crushing shock or frag proc, and then block cancel those skills. And again, that all lands within kind of 1 second or so you get loads of burst as well. You can't heal through burst, it's really good. The one thing to take though with the combos is that there's just so many to list. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the biggest thing you can do is make sure that your Haunting Curse lines up with another skill. Whether that's Crushing Shock, False Pulse, it's an Overload light attack, it could be the frag proc, it could be all 3 of them at once if you add in a block cancel. There's an animation guide video on the channel if you want to check that to see how to do that. Honestly, if you do that right, you'll one-shot most people, you'll do most of the health bar, you can't heal through it, it's really OP. As for playing defensive, you literally want to go to your shield all the time. If you get stunned, you are dead pretty much as a magicka character, especially if you have no stamina. If you roll too much, you're going to get killed. It's really simple. So honestly, just follow this guidance here. If you feel you need to roll dodge, or you need a burst heal, or you get stunned, just go to the shield instantly. That will get you out of trouble most of the time. It's like a 10k shield, it's absolutely massive. Both shields are 10k by the way, just huge. So what I find is that if I get stunned, I normally break free and I go Hardened Ward, Rapid Regen, Dampen Magic. What happens is that my first shield takes any big hit they're going to hit me with, whether it's Executioner, whether it's Subterranean Assault, an ultimate, my Hardened Ward and starts to heal me. My second shield goes on, and then I've got a massive shield on, again whilst I'm healing. I can then chuck on the first shield again if I really need to. Once I'm nice and happy with that, I then swap bar, and I might throw out a cheeky stun like maybe Rune Cage because it's delayed, or I might just streak through the target and escape. And then I can attack them. I've got 2 shields on, I'm healing, they won't be able to kill the 2 shields and my heals straight away, so I've got about a good 5 seconds of kind of sort of invulnerability. They can't kill me basically, there's a 1-on-1, and I can basically go full offensive and try and kill them really quick. And 9 times out of 10, you end up one-shotting people because they let their buffs drop. Sometimes though, you might feel that actually there's too many people on you and that you're being pressured really heavily. Like there's 3 people with Dragonite, DK, you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? In that case, I normally go for the shield 1 and I streak away. And then go Rapid Regen and then shield 2. If you go streak, anybody with a gap closer will come kill you straight away. So you want to go shield, streak, Rapid Regen, streak, or shield again, depending on how far away you want to get. This will then keep you alive a hell of a lot longer, and it pretty much makes you unkillable. Like literally people can't keep up with you, you've got 2 big shields on, even if they catch up with you, you've got so many shields on that you can't just get rid of it, and you just do the same thing again. They're out stamina, you're escaped, happy days, you just repeat, and it kind of allows you to be like a Nightblade, kind of hit and run if you want to with the streak. It's really busted. But as I said, the biggest thing you can learn to do in order to stay alive is just not to roll dodge. If you don't roll dodge on a magicka character, you will do better overall because you will learn to use your shield, you will learn to heal better and position better. And when you get more comfortable with that, just going to your shield straight away, you can then start to chuck in the roll dodge, going actually when would a roll dodge be better? I'd only roll dodge maybe once or twice in a row, and that's very rare. If I roll dodge, it's kind of like I'm going to die quite quick if I roll dodge. It's kind of, I need to make a conscious decision. So that's just something to really remember, okay? Now if you are still here and you are enjoying this video, then obviously remember to like and subscribe so you see more of this kind of stuff. And why not leave a comment to let me know what you think, or maybe you've got a question or two. And if you do want to see the written guide, then do check out the website www.unified-gaming.org, where the guide will be put up shortly. It will be maintained for future patches as long as the build is still viable. And with that said guys, I am going to wrap this video up here, but before I do so I want to say a massive thank you to all of our patrons who are literally help fund the website. They're helping me work towards obviously making this a part-time job and hopefully maybe full-time one day. And obviously without their support the channel wouldn't grow as well as it would do, so a big thank you to them. And if you want to support the channel, support myself, help us grow as a community, then obviously consider donating on the Patreon. There's a link in the description. And with that said guys, I will catch you in the next one, so take care, thanks for watching and bye.